For years, there's been this holy grail in AI, a single model that can see, hear, read, and understand the world all at once, just like a person. But there has always been a catch, a compromise. Well, today, we're looking at a new model that's making a pretty bold claim that it has finally actually cracked the code. And this right here is the heart of it. That phrase, without any degradation, is everything. It's a massive claim because it suggests they've solved one of the biggest, most frustrating roadblocks in building a truly versatile AI. So let's unpack exactly what that means and how they say they pulled it off. So the goal here is to build what's called an omnimodal system. But forget the jargon for a second. Think about how you experience the world. You don't have a separate brain for listening and another one for seeing, right? It's all one unified experience. That's the ambition for this AI, to get rid of the separate parts and create one integrated system that understands it all, together. So to be absolutely crystal clear, we are talking about one single model that can read your text, look at your pictures, listen to your voice, and watch a video, all at the same time, and weave it all into one coherent thought. Not a bunch of different tools stitched together, but one unified brain. Okay, so if this is such an obvious and amazing goal, why hasn't somebody done it already? Well, it turns out that getting an AI to be a jack of all trades has usually meant it ends up being a master of none. And that brings us to the core problem. So what is it? What's the fundamental challenge that has made this so incredibly difficult for so long? It all comes down to this idea of the modality trade-off. Historically, when you train a model to get way better at understanding, say, audio, its ability to handle text would start to slip. The best analogy is a decathlete. They're amazing at 10 different events, but they're not going to win a gold medal against the world's best sprinter or shot putter in a single event. You gain that awesome versatility, but you lose that specialized world-class excellence. So, the billion-dollar question is, how does Qwen3 Omni claim to get around this? How does it dodge that classic trade-off? Well, the secret sauce, they say, is in its very clever internal design. They call it a thinker-talker architecture, and it's actually a pretty great way to picture it. You can imagine it has two main parts that work together perfectly. A really powerful reasoning brain, which is the thinker, and then an incredibly fast responsive voice, the talker. Let me walk you through how it works. First, it just perceives everything at once, all the sights, sounds, text, the whole shebang. Then that thinker part gets to work, processing all that information and making sense of it. And finally, the talker module kicks in to generate a response, either as text or as really natural, real-time speech. It's one smooth pipeline. Now, under the hood, a few key tech upgrades make this possible. It uses a mixture of experts design. You can think of that like having a whole team of specialists on call instead of one generalist trying to do everything. It's way more efficient. They also built a brand new audio encoder for better sound understanding and an advanced speech system that just sounds more human. All right, that all sounds great on paper, right? But the proof is in the pudding. Does it actually work? A claim this big needs some serious proof. So let's look at the numbers and see how this thing actually stacks up against the competition. Okay, let's start with just this number, 234 milliseconds. Now, that might not sound like much, but in the world of real-time conversation, that is blazing fast. So what does it actually mean? This is what's called first packet latency. Basically, it's how long it takes from the moment you stop talking to the moment the AI starts talking back. A delay of just 234 milliseconds is so short that a conversation starts to feel natural and immediate, not, clunky and robotic. And this speed goes hand in hand with accuracy. When you look at audio transcription, the key number is the word error rate. And here, lower is definitely better. And as you can see on this standard test, Qwen3 Omni is making fewer mistakes than both Gemini 2.5 Pro and even GPT-4o's transcriber. So it's not just fast, it's really, really sharp. It is the exact same story when you start combining audio and video. On the WorldSense benchmark, which is designed to test how well an AI can understand a scene using both its eyes and ears, Qwen3 Omni sets a new state-of-the-art. And it's not just squeaking by, it's outperforming the previous best by a pretty healthy margin. So this brings us to the most crucial finding from the researchers. They discovered that training the model on everything at once didn't just avoid the trade-off, it actually led to mutual enhancement. In other words, learning to get better at audio actually helped it get better at vision, and vice versa. The whole literally became greater than the sum of its parts.
Okay, we've gone through the tech and the test scores, so what? What does all of this actually mean in the real world? Let's connect the dots here, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Let's put it in perspective. The old way meant juggling a bunch of separate, specialized models. It was complex, it was slow, and you always had to make compromises. This new way is totally different. It offers one single unified system that performs at an elite level everywhere with no performance hit. It's a fundamental shift from a collection of specialists to one true generalist. So if you're going to remember 3 things from this, make it these. First, no more compromises. This model shows you can have an all-in-one system without sacrificing performance. Second, it is the new state-of-the-art leader in understanding audio and video together. And third, its incredible speed makes truly natural, real-time voice conversations with an AI a real possibility right now. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. For what feels like the first time, we have real proof that an AI can be built to perceive the world in a unified way, much like we do, without any of those old compromises. So when a machine can truly listen, watch, and talk back as a single cohesive intelligence, what does that change? What conversations will we even have next?